Bum 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 ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum ba-da-dum bum 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 dum dum bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum bum bum ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum ba-da-bum bum bum bum, bum bum ba-da-bum bum bum bum, bum bum ba-da-bum bum bum bum, bum 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 ba-da-dum. Bum 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 bum, bum bum ba-da-dum bum bum bum, bum 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 ba-da-dum. Gustavo Adolfo Uribe here, and on this 5-minute rant, I'm actually going to talk about the making of my album, my debut album, Cholo 2.0. So I hope I can get through this in 5 minutes because it's kind of dense. So I'm going to start my timer here. Bam. Okay, so Cholo 2.0. What's the story behind that? Okay. Well, after I did my EP, Stilo Mexico Redux, the Dummy Pop. I was like, it's time to do my first debut solo album, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I first started on my debut album like in 2004, 2005, but had some sketches, but didn't finish it. And then I went to study music, and then it's kind of like this, recapitulation of my musical journey. And the reason why I call it Cholo 2.0 was that it was like the evolution of Cholo. That was like the concept. So different angles of that, like musically, like how can you take like Latin Chicano rap to another level, um, socioeconomically, like how can I take you know cultural heritages to the next level, and then as a statement, what is you know Cholo 2.0. It's 2016. What is that? What does it sound like? What are you saying? What's the point? And then you take a I never have been in a gang, but I have been born in 1985 in Southern California, and Santa Barbara's like, you got LA in the south and Ventura and Oxnard, and then you got like Santa Maria. So there was apparently like a split in the Mexican gangs. So you got like the norteño gangs and the sureño gangs, and then they were fighting, and so it was like a lot of shit, and then you couldn't go in my era to the bathroom without seeing some fucking tagging on the urinals or some shit, or like somebody getting stabbed somewhere or some fight somewhere. And you couldn't wear Raiders jackets, you couldn't wear blue or red, you couldn't wear baseball caps because they were like gang affiliated clothing. And then I remember like when I went to junior high school, even like cholos, that it was like Dr. Dre's 2001 was around that time. And even like the white kids were dressing up as cholos, so it was like pretty big deal. So anyways, so musically, going back to my album, it's kind of complicated because I have so much musical taste, and I've developed musically, learning. So but I had like a couple of different ideas, and I want to say, what was Latin hip hop music today in 2016? What can I do to bring that to the next level, the evolution of it and the different angles of it? So on one hand, I had merengue hip hop, which was actually in the 90s, groups like Proyecto Uno, Fulanito. These guys were doing merengue, house, hip hop in the 90s. So I wanted to bring some of that in because I really like merengue, house, hip hop, And then there was the trap sounds that's really popular now in 2016. So I'm like, well, how can I incorporate some of that, not too much, but into the Latin sound idioms, And then of course there was like Santana, the guitar. I was like, I really like that as part of my musical cultural identity. I want to incorporate that into there. I want to incorporate Michael Jackson into there, you know what I'm saying? Because I really like that. So a lot of fusion, and then some of the like southern snap type music. Like I really liked FDB, fuck that bitch, by Young Dro. And I was like, that song like influenced me to make uh Linque Cholo, like the kind of like, I don't know, just like I was like, oh man, you know, that's cool sound. But of course I did it my way, and I infused that with Mortal Kombat because I grew up in that era, and it was pretty pretty cool. So anyways, um, so yeah, so musically it's like a palette of where I have been, where I come from, where I am now, and then obviously there's lot of political statements in that album. Um, so yeah, man, hopefully that explains what the concept of that is. And here's my 5 minute timer. So thanks for watching. You could shut up. You can check it out. It's on up on YouTube. You could listen to it on my channel, or you can go to Spotify or whatever. Download it from the Bandcamp link. You know what I'm saying? For free. So yeah, man. Thanks for listening. Okay. Yeah. Word.